Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the SPC Rottweilers podcast. I am your captain, your host, your main man, Mr. Corey.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. This is Joanna.
What up with it, JoJo?
I'm good. How are you, Corey? How you feeling today?
I'm excited.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
I'm excited because today's guest, uh, I don't even know where to start. All I can say is when I grow up, I want to be just like this guy.
Go further than that. I'm just the starting line. That's all.
No, man. If y'all don't know that voice, we got the best of the best on the show. And if you don't know who I'm talking about when I refer to the best of the best, we got Mr. Tony Butler of Butler Kennel Rottweilers on the show today. What's up with it, T?
Oh, what's up, man? Thanks you guys for having me. You know what I mean? I feel I'm the one that's feeling honored, man, just even being able to be on the show, man. I know we talked about this for some time now. So making it happen now, it's like a dream come true.
Oh man, likewise, man.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Thank you for being here. We really appreciate your time.
Most definitely.
For sure, bro. We definitely appreciate you again. Uh, of course, we're gonna get into dog talk and Rottweiler talk, but we're gonna get to know you a little bit more on who you are, Mr. Tony Butler, outside of the Rottweilers. I know you grew up in Charleston, South Carolina.
SC.
Tell us a little bit about how it was growing up in Charleston.
Man, Charleston is a lot of people don't know. I'm from the island in Charleston. There's an island. It's called Watermelon Island. It's surrounded by water. Only one way to get on and one way to get off. If you need to go to the store, it's gonna take you about an hour just to get to the closest store to you. So just getting off that. So it's it's a small town community that everybody knows everybody. You tell everybody, don't date nobody on the island because you might be family. You know what I'm saying? So, but nah, it's definitely a small knit community, man. That I guess that makes you build a bond with everyone, man. I think that's kind of what's what was instilled into me and what I do today, honestly, like that. So, but everybody knows everybody. Family is always close. Both sides of families. And man, I'm the youngest of three. Man, I was a bad kid, so you can't really go too deep about my personal. I was bad, them bad kids. But nah, man, the truth is, I'll tell you the real truth that I never told anybody else ever. I'm gonna give you an exclusive. You know what I mean?
Already starting up with the exclusive.
Yeah, because sometimes I gotta say some exclusive for certain special people, man. So as a kid, for me, a lot of people don't know is that I had one of the worst stuttering problems there was, period. Which is one of the things that really got me into the dog world. You know what I mean? I communicated with dogs because speaking had a speech impediment. It would take me like 20 minutes, man, just to say a word. I would call on the phone, try to talk to my little girlfriend. Her mom keep hanging the phone up. Somebody playing on the phone, click. So my communication was like, man, dogs and animals could hear me. You know what I mean? Just communicate with me so well. And that's what's really got me into, like, I felt like Dr. Doolittle, put it like that. Yeah. I really did. I felt like they would talk, like we had conversations without a single word being said. And not just with just dogs, but just animals, period, in general. So about me, that was one of the biggest things about my life that a lot of people do not know unless you're a relative or grew up with me. I never was going to go in the military because I felt like I wasn't able to project my feelings and my voice to people. But I like to overcome odds, and that's what made me want to do the military thing. And sure enough, we exceeded. Man, I exceeded in the military, man. became an NCO, leader of troops overseas and everything else, and 3 deployments. Man, it's been good, man. I must say, I love overcoming odds. And that was one of the first biggest things for me. And I think that taught me from there that, man, you can overcome anything. I mean, honestly, right? That's been my main driving force. You know what I mean? That's been my driving force for me to do. Nothing, nobody can tell me to break me down, because I think that when you've overcome so many obstacles, I mean, any obstacles someone else put in your way is only made for you to either break through them, go over it, or go around. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's that.
And did you learn that at a young age? Like, did all this happen at what stage of your life did you come to this realization?
I don't know if there's ever a period where you really realize it, but I think moments in life you go through that compiles together that you realize things. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like telling somebody you love them. You know what I mean? At what day did you really say, I love this person because of what this one thing they did? It's a general of things combined that makes that love there. You know what I mean? So for me, the knowledge and the things I've been through, man, is it wasn't just one thing, whether it's family, it's friends, or being teased, whether it's the speech impediment, whether it's the people who hate you, whether it's yourself, your self-love and all this kind of stuff, that really made, you compile of who you are. Like, everybody has a story, you know what I mean?
Right.
Every single one of us have a story that if we were to all write a book, I mean, it's very interesting facts about all of us. I'm not that special from anybody else. It's just that my storyline is just a little different from somebody else. As a kid growing up, if I had to be honest, I think I wanted self-pity, you know what I mean? I would want to use my speech impediments and use those stuff because I wanted someone to feel sorry because I was feeling so down. And then, my dad was not happy,
Right.
Get up, get over it, you be all right, you know what I mean? And at the time, I just felt so hurt, but that has made me realize that, to be stronger, be a better person, you know what I mean, within yourself. Don't let the things affect you. Just, get over it, you know what I mean? It's good to cry about certain things or whatever, but get it, wipe your face, keep on moving, and then go to the next level, basically.
Right. Building that character, basically.
Oh, yeah, man. Every day. I mean, we never stop building, man. To be honest with you, none of us ever stops building. Every things I'm doing now, 10 years from now, I'm gonna look back and be like, I could have done this differently. You know what I mean?
Right.
I should have been on, I should have been on the Space City, interview a long time ago. You know what I mean? But it's life lessons, man. And whatever we do in life that makes us great, it makes us who we are. You know what I mean? As well. So yeah, we'll never stop growing, man. I think age doesn't give you wisdom. The things you go through and what you learn from give us that wisdom. You know what I mean?
Right. I want to say first, thank you for that service, Tony, for
I appreciate it.
Putting in that work. But I mean, when did you okay.
No, it just fell off the wall. So I was like, I never it just fell off.
I mean, so I know you said you felt like Dr. Doolittle, so you've always been around animals? You're
always.
Okay. Yeah. When did you first get your first Rottweiler then?
My first Rottweiler, man, I've always had dogs, you know what I mean? We've always had a dog, whatever. But I'm gonna be honest, I think the first animal encounter for me wasn't even a dog, it was a bird. Going to school, I remember seeing this little baby bird that I was going to the school bus, and this baby bird was on the side of the, just almost in the ditch, but where I was staying at for the school bus to come around or whatever. I saw it, and I just picked it up. And I remember, you guys probably remember National Geographic. It wasn't National Geographic, it was Channel 7, ETV or something like that. The channels we had, because we only had Channel 2, 4, 6, 7, 2, 4, 5, 7, or whatever. But it was the animal channel, the education channel for kids or whatever. And on Saturdays was the best days because they would show these movies of like bears in the wild and, you know, the good stuff or whatever, what you would call National Geographic Day, I guess, or whatever.
Right.
And I remember seeing this doctor was like helping this bird, and they wrapped this bird and everything else in this bird. And of course, they just fast forward and showed the bird flying away. And I was like, oh man, that was awesome. You know what I mean? I like that. So I saw this bird and immediately in my head, I'm like, man, I'm doing the same thing they did. You know what I mean? Of course, I didn't say it out loud that way. So in my head, I'm like, do all this stuff or whatever. And I remember I didn't even want, you know, most kids at that age is like elementary would want to show the kids on the bus, the bird or whatever. But I didn't want that attention. It was just me and this bird. I knew if I had this bird, either they want me to get rid of the bird or, you know, all this kind of stuff here. And I remember the bird was quiet, man, to where I thought the bird was dead at sometimes, you know, riding the school bus, going to school. I put the little bird in my pocket, in my little locker, came back. The bird was quiet until we got on my road coming back home. That bird started chirping and chirping, like, shut up, shut up. So I took it home. We got the bus. Everybody wanted to see now the bird or whatever. And I'm talking about the whole, even rewind a little bit, school lunch. We had the lunch. I remember getting like some piece of meat or bread or something like that. So birds don't even supposed to eat this meat, I guess. Maybe something off a burger or something. I took it, didn't get the bread, got like meat or cheese or something like that, put it in my pocket, stained my pocket. Mom got mad at me. I still remember that. Yeah. So, man, in the middle of like lunchtime, I guess, halfway during that time, recess or whatever, I went there and gave the bird some food. The bird ate it too, like a G. And came home. And I remember seeing like, and I remember they had like popsicle sticks on this bird's feather. And, you know, they taped it up and everything. So I did the same thing too, not understanding the details they did.
Yeah.
Tape the regular tape right to the feathers and everything else. So the bird started doing better. The bird was doing better. But when time to take the tape off, all the feathers came off too as well.
Oh
so
man.
I had it longer, but that bird stayed around for a while, honestly. After it got better, it stayed around for a little while, and it took off for a while afterwards. But that was the initial love of my love for animals. As a kid, you got a dog, you got this or whatever, you love your animals, dogs or whatever. But that was my initial, I would call my my graduation into love of animals. Really the first time that feeling you will never, I can't even explain it to you, that feeling I got seeing that bird. Like there's nothing that I can even explain to you. As a kid, it's a moment in your life when you realize what your purpose is. You know what I mean? As a kid, like that's a feeling like I don't care how much money someone throws. People talk about being doctors, lawyers, firefighters, cops, and all that stuff as a kid. Man, I remember I used to always say I want to be a veterinarian. That's because I thought it was a veterinarian. That's how bad I was a kid, man. Veterinarian is what I want. Like, what? Yeah, veterinarian, you know what I mean? And, vet? Like, yeah, that. Yeah, that's what I want to do. So, but taking it back to my very, very first dog, that, man, that's my best friend, man. Like I said, a speech impediment didn't allow me to really express a lot of my feelings to people, talk to people. Man, that dog I felt sorry for that dog. Now I think about it, man. I told my dog all my stories and problems.
Probably roll the eyes. Oh, another story, Tony, huh?
Another top screwed story on top of that. And man, like, oh, here we go again, the story. But man, he was there. Bronx was my boy, man. Really just, I'm telling you, I mean, when it feels like the whole world's against you and you have that sole person there, I mean, kids have acted out, did a lot of things bad, but that to me was my safe haven. You know what I mean? I got cut behind as a kid, man. I'll go talk to that dog, man. We just chop it all up. Man, I'm leaving home, you know, I'm leaving, pack my bags, you gonna come with me. Don't look at me like, go away, bro. You ain't got no money. I'm right here. But nah, that was my Bronx, my first dog was my love dog, man. Just really understanding a love. Wasn't no paper dog, wasn't nothing. You know, back then nobody even cared about papers, to be honest. Right. It was just about being in love with a dog that, you know, an animal that could bring joy that you didn't get from another human being. And understanding, should I say, that was the biggest thing. And understanding.
Call it man's best friend for no reason.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. He definitely lives up to that. Man's best friend.
Now, were pets easily accessible on the island, or how did that work as far as the pets? Or because the bird was more so a wildlife, and you kind of took it in as a pet. So like when Bronx came into the picture, was it a challenge, or was he already there on the island? Like, how did that work?
I mean, it's an island, but it's not like a island like you would think, like Jamaica or like, islands like that.
Right.
It's Charleston. If you look at the map, you see Charleston, South Carolina. It's like South Carolina is just it has many islands in South Carolina. People don't know about, like on the coast. You have like Kiowa Island, Johns Island, Baltimore Island, all these little small places. And now I look back and see how beautiful it really is. You don't appreciate it as a kid, but it's not like we did everything everybody else did. It wasn't something like we were just so disconnected from everybody else that it was rare to see somebody with a dog. Everybody had dogs like anything else. The bird was just, it probably was like a, man, I don't even know what kind of bird it was, to be honest with you. It was a regular little silver looking bird. I don't even know the name of what kind of bird it was. It wasn't like some big old hawk or nothing. It was a little bird about this size here, you know what I mean? Size of your palm or whatever, maybe smaller than your palm, you know what I mean? To me, my little palms was even smaller then, but it seemed bigger then, but it wasn't like a challenge or anything like as far as going from one to the other. It basically is just, I had help, you know what I mean? Not like I had to have my own home or anything else. I was still living with moms and dad and all of them. And, when it came to the dog stuff, a lot of times that, I wasn't responsible. My parents picked up the slack or whatever. They saw the love and passion I had for it. But a lot of times, even as a kid, you know what I mean? Didn't feed the dog today, forgot, you know what I mean? They fed the dog, didn't do this, the normal childhood mindset, you know what I mean? I'm still a child. I'm not going to paint it to where I was like the best dog caregiver ever in the world. I was, man, if I could play a video game, I could. We didn't have that much stuff like that to do, but you know what I mean? But it was definitely still my parents made the transition a lot easier as far as, with the animals and that kind of, they saw my love for it. So they assisted. My mom is a really big man. I don't think I give my mom enough credit. My mom, man, really, truly, I really don't give her enough credit. My mom saw things, man, that my dad was like, nope, cut it out, be done, that's it. The father, nope, be done, nope, that's it. My mom, sit right there, Tony, I got you. You know what I mean? And did things for me with the animals that really, really, really stood out. Even all the way up to the next dog that was Champ, and all these other dogs. My mom played a major role in Champ. My mom played a major role in a lot of things. My grandmother's dogs, which is one of the first dogs, I would say. Before I even remember the dog I had in my house, I still remember the dog that my grandmother had, that my mother was a part of, that got me associated with that dog. So it was the whole family knew me as a dog lover. You know what I mean? My grandmother was a dog lover as well too. You're not going to bring where I'm from. My grandparents' house was my Six Flags. You know what I mean? That was my Six Flags. Like that, man. My grandmother didn't care. You're respectful, fine. Do whatever you want to do. Just be respectful. You know what I mean? I can get away with grandma. Grandma let me do what I want to do. And even little small dogs that I found on the road, I bring to my grandma. Oh, let the dog in the house. Any other grandkids, don't bring that dog. Don't do the same. Tony was the one that was allowed to bring the dogs over, do what he want to do with the dogs. And my grandmother, my mother, man. It's just, and everybody played a part in my growth and love. You know what I mean? I think I sum it all up. Everybody played a part, some way, some form. One of my aunts on my dad's side was the first one that actually gave me a dog. I never even told nobody about this, honestly, right now. She was actually imported from Germany. I didn't even realize how important this really was, because nobody cared about papers or whatever.
Right.
But it was a grown dog at the time. And it was a Rottweiler imported from Germany. They had been living in Germany and they came back. Man, that dog was so big. I was like, brothers do this. And I remember she snapped at me one time. I was like, whoa, hold up now. Hold up. I saw my dad reaction too. He was like, hey, Tony, get the dog out of here. And I was like, you get it. But we built a trust with the dog, and the dog was like, man, I remember that dog was in my dad's garage. My dad does cars and stuff. Like, that's the other side of me. I'll tell you guys about later. I'm into cars and dogs and stuff as well. This dog was in my dad's garage when I was in school. I came back, the dog was sitting there. Tony, get that dog out my garage. I was like, how long that dog been in the garage, man? Don't worry about all that. Just get the dog out. But even as a kid, he recognized that dog would listen to me, man, like that. I'm like, come on. And she came right down with me or whatever. So everybody played a role at some point in my life, getting me to where I'm at today. And I think that's one of the main reasons, if you pay attention to what I do a lot, I always bring up Kevin Hart. You know what I mean? One of the very most influential person in my life. One of the people, not the only, but I watch how he brings the people around him up with him, and that means more than anything in the world. So you can be at the top, but I can be here and I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. Everybody knows Butler Kennel, but nobody knows the guys that I came up with. They don't know about this guy. It's lonely at the top, they say.
Right.
But it don't have to be, it's not lonely at the top if you bring your team with you. You can be at the top with everybody, and share that. So Kevin Hart has always talked about, when he gets up, man, he kept his crew around him. He didn't change. Now, there are going to be some times when you got to elevate yourself, and some people don't want to elevate with you. That's fine, but continue to progress, and hopefully one day they'll get it with you, and want to go there. But everybody isn't made to be at the same level as you are, but you still can bring people up. You may be on the top level, the 10th level, which is the top of the top. Johnny might be on the 6th level, but you see that you can bring them up to the 8th level, bring them up. You know what I mean? Help the next person out a lot. And that's what I like to do in the Rottweiler world, as far as inspiring breeders, showing support. Man, some support don't even cost you a penny. Hit the share button, you know what I mean? Hit the like button. Man, I've been doing this for a long time. It'll be 16 years, March 25th of this year. Wow. Which is in a couple of weeks, 16 years. And to really take a moment and not try to be like about me like this, but when you really think about it, 16 years, I've never had a litter not sold out before they were born. Never. Man, and I'm blessed. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is a blessing. Nobody knew who I was, you know what I mean? At the first start. But people knew my love for the dogs that I had. Like, that guy shows a different kind of love for his dogs. I remember when I first started doing my kennels, I would watch certain people with their kennels, watching them. And I remember that first day, it felt so uneasy. I mean, I'm talking about it felt uneasy. I had a dogs and I was trying to be like, man, my kennel like this person, my kennel like this person, that person. And I remember that was the last time I started watching other kennels, the last time, first and last. I wanted to do it my way. I didn't want to copy somebody else. I wanted to just be me, and taking a chance on yourself is better than anything else. So when I did that really made me feel like, man, I'm doing it my way. That allows me to be who I am today. And by me doing that, people caught on to it. Was like, hey, man, it feels original. It feels authentic. You're not trying to make something that's not you. I see some people emulate what I do, which is fine. I mean, if it works for you, do it. The whole purpose of why I post videos and stuff is show people different ways of, you don't have to be stuck in one barrier. You know what I mean? Sometimes you'll never get credit for it, but you don't do this to get credit. You do this to to better the next man, you know what I mean, or woman, or just individual people of growth, you know, and that's the true meaning of growth, not about how many dogs you sell. If you watch my YouTube videos, a lot of times when I talk about life, it's not even about dogs. You know, I'm telling people, hey man, whether you're on your job, working at McDonald's, you know, don't be comfortable just being the fry guy. You know what I mean? In order for you to be the manager, you got to learn how to do the fries, the burgers, and everything else. So when you become manager, you know what it's like to do all these different things, and you grow. You know, you got to be able to clean the poop up first. You got to be able to learn how to wash this and do this and understand this before you go to the next level. And that's the same thing. You know, it's a mental note. But if you're taking this dog thing only, I don't want to be known for just the dog business. I do a lot of different revenues. A lot of people don't even know about, you know, real estate, race cars, a lot of stuff. I'm sponsored with a lot of people, but which will be on the YouTube channel show. But like, see, you got the first time I'm telling people the race car videos on YouTube. See that, man? Like, you get it out of me. But
hey, man, keep them coming.
Yeah, so we got a lot of different stuff coming, man, and just my passion for cars. And if you watch some of my YouTube videos, you'll see some people are always looking at the background. Man, I see that old school car you got there, man. I'm like, bro, I'm showing the puppies, man. Yeah, man, but some cars and stuff too, man. I'm like, it's gonna come, man. It's gonna come.
Yeah,
It has its purpose, but my main focus is always just to always go on to do what you want to do what you love to do, man. You know what I mean? I know this is the dog channel and this is the dog stuff, man, but before you even do the dogs and anything else, be an individual of yourself and understand what is that you want to do in life. Because I'm not gonna stop at just dogs. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna stop at just cars. I'm not gonna stop at just real estate. I'm not gonna stop at this. If I got a passion of love I want, I'm gonna go for it. So it shows you as an individual to be who you are, believe in yourself, and to continue to go more and more and more and more. You know what I mean? So you can better yourself. So, you know, I remember when we talked the first time before the podcast even happened, you know, he was like, man, what do you think about this? And I'm going to do this, man. And, man, I was like, bro, I might got to steal this idea from you, man. This is good. I like that. You know what I mean? Right. But it really just, it made me feel so good to hear you come up with something, man, that was positive, and something that's growing from, it's yours, it's your baby. You know what I mean? Something that, you know, you have a vision for it, you know. And I'm gonna tell you, man, I ain't never told, I can't have told you this, but man, we hung the phone up, man. I called my friend. I was like, hey, look, man, don't steal his idea now, but I'm telling you, man, I'm not gonna say who it is, but man, he got a bad idea. I like it, man. I like it. You know what I mean? I want to see this thing grow, bro. I want to see it grow, man. I just hope he sticks with it and do it and go for it. And just that, seeing other people succeed, man, makes me feel good. I mean, I think that's a rare commodity you see in people. You know what I mean? People want to be the top. I want to be this. You know, I want to be only bigger than you. People say, man, I'm gonna be a breeder, but not as big as you. I'm like, why not? Why not take what I'm doing to the next level and keep building that? You know, generations. I want my kids to be better than me. Right. Shoot, I want my kids to take this thing and go on with it. I want my friends that's breeding dogs or doing what they want to do in life, take what they're doing, elevate it times 10, you know, in the next generation as well. That's growth, you know. I think, yeah, that's a growth. Being 90 years old on this earth and doing the same thing day in, day out, that's not growth. You know what I mean? That's just you alive. Living and being alive is two different things. I want to live, you know, I want to grow. I want to leave a positive, you know, footprint in whatever I do. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing for me.
Man, man, you said so much, bro. Like, just that's almost like a testimonial in a sense, man, because it's so much stuff that someone can take out of that, of everything that you were saying, and you know, being relatable, you know what I mean, letting people recognize and finding themselves within others. I mean, and it's kind of like what we do it for, and that's kind of like the purpose of this podcast. I mean, yes, it's the SPC Rottweilers podcast, and we're talking to Tony Butler of Butler Kennel Rottweilers, but we human as well. But, you know, the Rottweilers is just one piece of the puzzle. This podcast is one piece of the puzzle. You know, even if you're listening or watching and you're not into, you know, breeding dogs, or you are into the breeding dogs, just be yourself, be original, have some type of authenticity to whatever you do. You know what I mean? Because it's just all about being who you are, and as long as it's positive and you constantly want to be better, it shouldn't stop you. And everything that you just said is basically summing all that up. And man, wow, that was amazing, bro. I mean, we definitely appreciate. Well, I definitely appreciate that just on the personal level, just hearing you hit on all those notes, man, and just being able to be 16 years in this on something that you started and stick with it, man, because 16 years is a long time to just be with something. And you know what I mean? Like, of course, people see all the good sides about it, but man, I'm pretty sure within those 16 years, it probably was many days that you wanted to, you know, quit, give up, or you got frustrated, or you know what I mean, something happened, but you know, you stuck with it, and here you are now, 16 years, all your litters being sold out. Man, that's amazing, bro.
Yeah, it's it's plenty of days, man. And you know what? And that's one of the things I tell a lot of people too, as well, is that this can be a dream. See, first thing I gotta say, honestly, I prayed about this. See, this wasn't something that just said I'm good at it, I want to do it. I prayed about it. You know what I mean? You know, and I mean, I really truly prayed and was like, God, let this be. If it's your will, let this happen. If it's not for me, then let me know. That was my first ignition before anything else. Um, some people are good at things, but it's not for them to. You can like cars, right? You may like cars. Don't mean you got to be a mechanic because you like cars. You may be good to like cars, car shows, that somebody painting you driving around. That's it. So you got a certain limitations on what you do in life. For me, I wanted more. You know what I mean? I wanted this to be for me, but at the same time, it's when you ask for something, make sure you understand what all comes with it. You know what I mean? Because yeah, they're sold out before they're born, and the puppies are always sold. The people are calling every single day about dogs and you know, wanting deposits and stuff. You're still human, and you think about the stress that comes behind it. You know, I've had almost mental breakdowns, man, behind it. You know what I mean? There was a point in my life when I had 20 deposits waiting. You know what I mean? I was stressed out. Oh my God, gotta get them the puppies, gotta get them the puppies, man. I gotta do this for them because, you know, I don't want them to have to wait. My love for them was stressing me out. They're telling me, "Don't take your time, man. It's all right. I mean, dogs gonna have puppies when they have puppies." I'm like, "Nah, man, but I got a reputation and a name and stressing the night." Now we got 10 times that amount now on the waiting list now. And it's like, okay, you got to learn the progress there. You know what I mean? And understand that. And it's like, don't get me wrong. And anybody that tells you, I don't care what, like, I'm just going to be realistic. We got to be real. If you're going to say I'm going to be a breeder, the first thing out your mouth is you're not even talking about, not the first thing, but somewhere in there is about profits. You know what I mean? You're going to make profits. You know what I mean? Or you're going to lose profits. But somewhere, money's going to be somewhere tied in somewhere. I mean, you're going to spend a lot of money to take care of these jokers, or you're gonna be successful. And with that success, people will always see what comes in, not what goes out. You know what I mean? Oh man, you make a lot of money on these dogs. Da, da, da. Like, I spend more money than I make sometimes. You know what I mean? Because the love of the dog isn't about money or whatever. You know, but they're gonna be days, like you said, though. They're gonna be days when you really take a step back and say, you know what, man, God, man, why am I doing this, man?
Yeah.
Like, I'm tired, man. Like, God, the dog, this. And
We good?
We good.
All right, y'all. After having a word from our sponsors, we back. Again, joining us today, we got Mr. Tony Butler of Butler Kennels. That was interesting. I don't know where we left off from or left off at. But it's all good. T, I want to ask you, how much did serving in the United States Army play a factor in your discipline with all of your endeavors?
That's actually a pretty good question, but I know most people will have a total different answer than what I'm going to tell you. The military teaches you, you know, a lot, on how to treat people, how to observe things, make it better, your loyalty, your respect, selflessness. A lot, man. But I really can't give credit to the military for none of those things, man. Those stuff was instilled at home before I joined the military. You know what I mean? I know people be like, no, the military got to teach you how to do this, this, and that. It makes you disciplined. I was disciplined before I went to the military. It builds upon your platform, what you already have. But as far as the foundation, that was at home. That I got to give credit to mom and dad. And I mean, honestly, it'll be disrespectful of me to give that to the military when that was brought at home.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, the military is an awesome family that can take that and enhance it to mold it even better. You know what I mean? And as better means to continue to grow upon what you know already. You know what I mean? To, as life lessons get older, you have certain things. But mom, I mean, there's things now that I'm still doing to the day that my mom taught me. You know what I mean? Having my mom and dad there. I know a lot of people didn't grow up with mom and dad in the household. I was lucky enough to have mom and dad in the household with two brothers, with everyday situations that, my dad was in the military. My brothers are all in the military. My two brothers are still serving right now. But it's definitely an enhancement, but I can't give that credit to the military for a lot, but I do thank the military for helping me build upon the foundation that my parents implemented within me.
Right. And I'm glad you said that, because I think most people think people go to the military to get all that character put in
Some
them.
do, some I would say I have my personal, and I would say my personal experience seeing some people in the military in basic training had none of that. I mean, they were like, oh man, I mean, you look at them like they were on their way to jail, like, or on the opposite side of the road. And some of them can correct you. I mean, the military can do a 180 with some people, you know what I mean? The military isn't a place for those. It's not a prison that makes you just, we're gonna really rehabilitate you to be better. Some people go in there with a positive mindset already and want to be enhanced. Some people go in there without any sense of direction at all. And I remember sitting on the bus, and I still remember that bus drive, basic training, yelling at you, get off the bus. Da, da, da. And I had a little sneak peek of it because my brothers are already in the military. I'm the youngest. You know what I mean? They were like, you go to basic training, this is what's gonna happen. Don't let that personal stuff get to you. And in my mind, I was like, you get paid to work out and exercise? Whatever.
Yeah.
But then growing up was, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, respect and everything else. So going to the military saying yes, ma'am, yes, sir, to a non-commissioned officer, which is what I was. Now, at the time I was a private, but you got a non-commissioned officer, you have an officer. You call officers, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. But growing up, we called anybody as an adult older than me, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. Right. And that's a sign of disrespect to the NCO. Don't call me no NCO. I work for a living. And I'm like, yes, sir. I mean, man, get down and give me 20. I'm like, man. And to someone else that didn't have that, it was easy because they didn't have the yes, sir, yes, ma'am mentality already. You know what I mean? So, and I got in so much trouble because I used to always smile a lot. I smile. He called me Mr. Smiles. Okay, Private Smiles, you still smiling? get down, man. Always got mad at me. Man, Private Butler, stop smiling so much, man. You're getting us in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, I ain't trying. Oh man, it's just, man, it's funny, man. You know, so just I remember the NCO. I mean that drill sergeant came on that bus. I shouldn't even say his name, man, but well, it's plenty Blanchard, so I'm just gonna say Blanchard. He was sitting beside me. And so came, get off the bus. No. He's like, I can't move. I was like, why not? I just peed myself. It's like,
Oh man.
They can become intimidating, man. But for me, I already knew what to expect. This was them to break the mold of fear. You know, a lot of people use fear to conquer what they want. If I tell you right now, hey man, I'm gonna blow your car up if you don't do this and this for me. I'm using the word fear tactic to get what I want. And it can be good, used in a good way and a bad way. Military uses fear in a positive way because it trains you to, there gonna be situations that you're gonna be fearful in, you know what I mean? 3 deployments, won't speak about those, but you know, deployments are gonna be in a different environment situation for you that you can't train on rainbow days every day. And now it's raining, you're training, you haven't trained in the rain. You gotta train in the rain, so when the rain does come, you can handle that as well too. And that's the same thing my parents did, you know what I mean? They made it tougher for me. I didn't have the luxury. I remember summertime, kids got out, summertime, whoa, summertime, party. Man, I'm like, oh man, I gotta go cut wood this summer, rake the yard. We ain't had no small yard. And it was like, I remember I tried to break the handle on the rake on purpose because I gotta rake the yard. That's, oh, you wanna break the rake? Okay. Now rake the yard with the small handle. It's like, you know what I mean? But those teach you, man. And I was angry during the time. Well, I always got to do this. Everybody's having fun. And I still remember other kids' parents telling my parents, why don't you let that boy go have some fun? This is my household. Run it the way I want to. You control your kids. And years later, big kids, not so much on the straight and narrow because they're allowed to do whatever they wanted to. You know what I mean? And, you know, I look back now, man, I hate my dad. Hate my dad. Always, wait, my mom always telling me can't do this. Everybody having fun. My parents don't like me. No, they love me. That's the reason why. So yeah, so those moments, man, of and like I said in the very beginning, the way there is no one specific moment that lets you see mold your mold. You know what I mean? It's a series of events from military to being born, family, to military, all those things there, and just where we are today. You know what I mean? Of who I am today or whatever. But military has definitely just back full circle. The military played a really major part in it. Families definitely played an even bigger part in it. And allowing what you allow and what you accept, because you got to humble yourself, you know what I mean? You know, like we went back and said some people went to the military and got back out the same way they left, you know what I mean? Military didn't change them at all. You know, they didn't care. They got what they wanted out of the military and left, and still the same person. But you have to humble yourself at some point, and humility. I say humidity. It's hot. The humility, you have to take that because, you know, that what allows you to grow, man. You know what I mean? To say that everything I've done in my life has been perfect that led me to where I'm at now would be a total lie. You know, there's been things that I've looked at and I'm embarrassed about, but I learned from those things. To continue to keep doing the same thing over and over, mistakes you would do, then that's, you know, that's not a learning experience. You can't keep touching the poisonous snake every single time, and that snake bites you every single. You ain't learning a lesson. It's a snake. It's gonna bite you. Don't touch it again. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or use a probe to move it next time. So that's the thing about what this is here. Nothing wrong with, oh, I accidentally got bit by the snake. I didn't see the snake. I didn't know. But now I know next time. Let me put on the right gear. I'm going into the woods. I got bit the last time. Now you're using your head. Now you're learning. And you use that. So to tie it back in the military and everything else, some people don't learn, some don't move forward with it. I'm thankful and I'm very blessed that I was able to use the platform that was given to me and enhance better. Now, I messed up on some days. Now, I still, you know what I mean? I still messed up, but overall, sometimes you're gonna fall. The biggest thing is getting back up and just continue moving forward. I mean, I've gotten up more times than I've fallen, and that's the biggest thing in life. It's like if I can get up, when you fall more than you've gotten up, then you fail. You know what I mean? So to me, I've fallen this year. It was only February, March. You know, I've fallen. I'm still getting back up and still moving forward. You know, and still overcoming those things that have tripped me up, that have made me fall to where I'm at now. So.
And you grew up in South Carolina, but you're in Texas now, right?
Yes.
How was that little winter storm that we had come through here for you? How was that for you and your family and your pups?
Oh, I'm gonna give you the real truth about that, right?
Oh, please.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible. Again, my past built me for this. Like, I mean, if anything, cutting wood, chopping wood, and parents making me do all this stuff, man, it made it much easier. It was horrible. And a lot of people, man, I don't want to try to make it seem like we just had the worst of anybody else, because people had it worse than we did. I'm very blessed enough that we had a new style home that was built to withstand a lot more stuff. But even with a brand new home style and everything else, man, it was so cold that we had no water, no electric, no nothing. We were blessed enough to have a fireplace. And, you know, and something told me, Tony, build your cow shelter tonight. The night before, it was cold. I mean, Corey, I'm gonna send you the videos personally. I'm gonna let you see the videos. Matter of fact, let me see. For those that are watching, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up and show you. When I actually started that night before, I didn't know it was gonna be bad. You know what I mean? Like this bad. No one really. Okay, snow was gonna come. It just snowed before. It was fine, man. I was playing in the snow on my four-wheelers. I took the kids riding on the four-wheelers. We just had fun. Okay. When they said it's gonna snow again, I was like, okay. Round 2 of the snow, you know what I mean? Let's have some fun. But we didn't expect the snow to be at this level. And, you know, you can have snow without, people like, I hear some people like, oh, the snow is, we have snow over here and we deal with snow all the time, no big deal. But doing snow with no water, no heat, you know, anything, no electricity, no anything. That was the hard part about it.
It's a different beast.
Yeah, so I'm gonna show you, see if I can put this on here right quick. Let's see. So this is the day before. See that empty space? It's empty for a reason. When I got back out of it, I started to do my little building, which I started building that night. See what time it is. I started at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And I didn't get until 5 a.m. in the morning.
Wow.
Man.
But I'll just go straight to the finished part, where I was so proud of, man, to where I built the little thing where they can go into it. The cows will have shelter. And man, it was crazy because I'm freezing cold and I can't get help, you know, it's myself and trying to hold this up and the hands are shaking and freezing. And only thing that really motivated me so much was like, it's this cold for me. Imagine the cows out there, man. It's got to be even cold for them. You know, I've had little small shelters for them, trying to fit into right quick, but something just told me to get it right. And it was really cold because in one day, less than a day, some big troughs of water I had. I mean, big old troughs of water. Those are all frozen rock solid, so I can't give them water. Yeah. And that's the difficult part that made everything difficult, was the fact that I have my family, which is automatically number one priority in my life. My family. I know people who do dogs, like, oh, make the dogs priority. No, my kids and family is number one. I'm just being honest. You don't like it, okay, whatever. But my kids are gonna come first priority. You know what I mean? So, but they were secure enough. I understood that part. But we had all this snow. I have all these dogs. I got the cows, I got the chickens, I got this whole farm, you know what I mean? With no water, no heat, no nothing or whatever.
Wow.
And I was blessed enough to actually have a wood stove. So we all bundle around the wood stove. We make the beds in front of the wood stove and cut the fire on and everything else. And even with the fireplace on, it was so cold that on a regular winter time, that fireplace heats my entire house up. Like it's cut the fireplace off, it's hot.
Right.
It was so cold that the fireplace was on, and the only place that was warm was right around the fireplace constantly for days. That's how cold it was, like, honest to God. I mean, I moved the bed right in front of the fireplace. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, people who have older style houses, I could only sympathize, man, or even try to sympathize what they were going through without a fireplace. That's why some people have actually, you know, had it worse than we had it, you know what I mean? To the ultimate sacrifice of things that have happened to them as well. So with me, the training that I got from my parents is cutting wood and doing those stuff. I've been doing that the whole time. I'm a country boy, so had wood. Good thing I had wood saved up. Chainsaw, knocking wood down. The wood part was the start of the problem, which was like the basic. Okay, got wood, chop it down. But remember, it's cold. Your hands freezing. You're chopping it and everything else. Okay, cool. You got all these dogs that needs to have able to go, because the first day was okay. The snow came and it was like, all right, the dogs like snow, have fun. With my big Rottweilers are like running outside, like, whoa, hold up now, bro. Get me back inside the house. You know, that's when you know it's like, okay, hold up. Now I got to think water. Dogs need to drink. 5 days without water, it's not gonna be good. Man, I'm boiling snow. I was like, what can I do? I jerry rig my propane tanks up and I'm scooping up ice. Man, I got like 20, what looked like 20 gallons of snow melting the joker, and I only get about this much water. And I'm like, seriously, all this snow and there's only this much water. So it's been literally the most thing was boiling the water, boiling the snow, keeping it going. Because as soon as I got a pot full of water, I dump it into it. A quarter of my dogs already drink that up. So I'm constantly all day for 5 days, every single day. I mean, every hour, I'm just getting water and putting it in buckets and putting it in this here. Then I got the cows that still got their water, you know, giving them, and a whole jug of water is going in a couple seconds for them. And I'm like, no, I'm trying to like, you know, give it to each. Yeah, you know, ration it out to everybody. Hey, back up, little cow, get a little baby cow, little baby cow. And the baby cow's like, hey, man, whatever. Y'all ain't gonna give me nothing. I'm just like, no, come on, move you in there. And some of the new cows, I don't know if y'all watch the videos or not, but YouTube's, we got some new cows came in. And when you do with cows, wild cattle, it takes time to build trust with them. So a lot of them are kind of skittish at first like this. My 2 cows I had in the beginning are like, hey, what's up, Pops? You know, come close, rub on them and everything else. Man, it was so cold and they were so thirsty. Them skittish cows like, yo, what's up, man? Come on. You know, they're close now. They're like, yo, we know, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. So they they got it real good. You know, I'm just glad they had a shelter that was really warm in there. They did really good. The dogs just water every 5 seconds. You know, I'm gonna make anything work. If I got a pencil and a pen, I'm gonna rub it together and do something to make fire. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna find some way to make it happen. And I think we were very blessed to come out of it with a life lesson learned of, you know, don't take certain things for granted. You know, every day we cut the lights on, we just kind of like, oh, lights come on naturally. We're supposed to do this. You know, and even for myself, primarily, you know, as a head of my household and having to do all this stuff and make sure it was right and, you know, getting this in the water. And then, you know, and then I got lazy toward the end. I was like, oh man, dummy, you got a pool. I fell into the pool. I'm not gonna lie, I fell into the pool. My kids thought it was a joke. They were like, Daddy fell in the water. Let's hide. Like, dude, no, come help Daddy. It's freezing. Well, not my whole body, my whole side of my leg went to because I was standing on top of it, cracking the water, trying to get the water out. And that was the last day, but it was the pool. He had to boil the water and on top of that as well. So using that. And then, you know, you got to remember too, when you're giving dogs and animals those water, you want to make sure they're, you know, boiled through and safe for the dogs and all that kind of stuff. So the safest bet was the snow, but still being boiled to take out any bacteria and all that kind of stuff. And the little puppies we had, but it was crazy, but it was a life lesson that really we made it out more grateful than when it started. You know what I mean? For what we have and what we do now, and how well we all work together as a family. That was the key. That was definitely it.
That's cool. What's one thing that you know for sure whenever they say, "Hey, we're getting ready to have an Arctic blast come through," be prepared.
Generator.
Okay.
Generator.
Yeah.
Generator. 3 of them, 4 of them. I don't care. Get some generators.
Ready. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, when they said that, I know now when they say a storm's gonna come, everybody's gonna freak out even more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my family has overcame a lot already, man. I mean, honestly, we've been through a lot, man. But preparing yourself, you know what I mean? I know people went crazy buying generators now. Like, it's gonna happen again. This generators cost $2,000. I don't care, I'm gonna buy it. I'm like, bro. But lessons teach you to prepare yourself for the next time, and I think we will be more prepared. You know, if it happens, if it doesn't. Wise man always says it's better to have and not need than to need and not have.
Yeah,
you know,
so
so we're gonna have a generator.
Same here. For sure. I'm even thinking about getting one of those ones that kick in as soon as your power cut off. That's the house.
But you know what's so funny is that so many people had generators, man. It was so cold, it wasn't working. Like literally, a lot of people had generators.
Whoa.
And they said it was so cold, the generators wouldn't even work, how cold it was. And I was like, wow. And some people, I don't want to talk about families like that, but many people it was hard because the fumes of the generators had caused serious illness on people as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Carbon monoxide poison.
Yeah, so you definitely want to be careful with that, man. People are bringing it inside their houses and letting it run. You know, one of the biggest things a lot of people didn't think about was just getting to their cars. Like, that's the one thing that kept I'm gonna be honest with you. So this is crazy, right? A lot of people who called me during that time, I answered everybody's call as though nothing was wrong. I never told somebody, hey, couldn't talk right now, didn't want to, never even put on my page, let anybody know. People would call it, hey, I want a dog and I want this. And I'm just like, I got this going on, but I don't want to be like, hey man, I got this business going on. I'm always told, like, Tony, sometimes you gotta take time for yourself. And to me, it was about, I want to be the best. And like I said, we're the best of the best isn't about having the best Rottweiler. It's having the best, being the best, you know what I mean, at what it is that I do. And people were calling me about dogs during this time. And I was just like, oh man, I'm dealing with this right now, but I'm not letting them know it. I'm doing this and doing that. And, you know, I guess it went back from that sympathetic days. I didn't want nobody to be like sympathetic. Oh man, Tony, sorry to hear you going through the storm, because nothing they could have really done for me. But, you know, I appreciate the support that I got afterwards. Like, hey man, I know the storm was afterwards, man, you had this going on, and you know, we should. And I'm telling you, I don't know about any other breed in the world, but the love and support I got, man, of calls and emails and text messages I got, man, I felt so loved, man. Like, we want to make sure you're good. We just handle about the storm with you, man. And man, I know if you need anything else to come take them dogs for you. And I'm like, well, look, take my dogs now. I appreciate y'all.
They tried it.
Bring your dog. Hey, you ruined your family, but bring your dogs on there, man. Good to go. So like, no, good. But the love and support was definitely there. I definitely, man, to all those that's listening right now, if you reached out to me, man, call me, text me, even said a prayer for me, man, I want to really truly appreciate every last one of you guys. It really means a lot. You know, that's really truly, you know, I'm really hard at accepting gifts from people. I love giving gifts. You watch me, I give things away all the time. It's hard for me to take in, even appreciate it, man. It means it's like, I don't want to bother somebody for anything, you know what I mean? But I feel joyous when I give people things and do nice things or whatever. So that's definitely a good feeling. So those that supported, man, I appreciate you having your prayers, thoughts, thanks, texts, and everything else. That really means a lot.
Yeah, man. Because I mean, I'm just starting to realize that it was really a statewide issue. Because I'm thinking North Texas, are they used to this? They get snow more often than we do down here in South Texas. But it was hectic all over. And basically what I got from it is just be prepared for anything. You know what I mean? It's okay to have, some backup plans. And even on our last episode, we talked about having like a disaster plan for you, your family, and even your dogs. You know what I mean? And maybe that way, when something does happen, you're calm in the situation and you're able to get everything situated or everything together in the midst of an Arctic blast or a hurricane or some type of natural disaster. So I mean, you going through what you went through and people not necessarily knowing what's going on, man, everybody have problems, you know what I mean? And everybody has to be prepared, because I know they see you, man, they see the best of the best, and they don't think that Tony and Butler Kennel got struggles, but y'all heard it here, man. Like, just be prepared, and sometimes you just gotta make that sacrifice.
Yeah.
Whether it be in the cold or whatnot, man. But man, we just grateful and blessed that we all made it out, because they definitely had some people that didn't make it out of that situation with the carbon monoxide poisoning, or freezing to death. Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of unsaid deaths or unreported stuff that went on. Yeah. And even with all that, in the midst of a pandemic that still is amongst us, how have you been able to adjust with basically for this whole year dealing with the pandemic?
This pandemic, man, really, again, nobody, I don't think anybody, I don't care what you do in life, who you are, celebrity, how big of a name you think you are. I think it taught us all a big, huge lesson. Some lessons different than others, but this pandemic definitely, no one could have mentally been prepared for what's going on now. This new normal now is weird. Like, if somebody told you 2 years ago about mask and this and the way you're operating every day, it's kind of like, man, I don't know, like, this and that. But the pandemic itself, for the effect on us as a business, man, not to sound cocky and this and that, because 2020 has been one of the worst years for a lot of people. I mean, horrible. 2020 for us has been one of the most successful years as us in 2020 to date. I was very scared, like, oh man, how this is gonna affect the business, how this is gonna go here. People, and I remember for me, when the pandemic first happened, certain people would call me and I would be like, hey, you need your deposit back, man, because I don't want you to have a deposit on a dog and you lost your job. People was calling me, Tony, I lost my job, man. I was all right, man, you need your deposit back, or you need extra funds that you put on your deposit back, or whatever. I was willing to work with people and, trying to help as much out as possible. Because we were truly blessed, because I see people lost their jobs. I've seen people struggle, man, just losing it all. And honestly, my biggest fear wasn't about the sales of the dog. Honestly, it really was, because I would never tell somebody, okay, here's your refund back or whatever. But it was more the fact that, like, these people became part of my family. And I mean, these people I got to know and, put deposits down and we talk. Man, some people, I have, like I said, I think I have the best clients ever, man. You know what I mean? Man, so much of them call me on a regular basis. Hey, man, what's going on, man? It just happens, you know what I mean? And you're like, hey, just call and see what's up, man. I'm not with my number right now. Just call, make sure you're good. And we had 2 hours on the phone talking. I'm like, man, I gotta go, man. I got work to do, sitting there talking so long. But as a business standpoint, we overcame a whole lot. It was the most successful year but the worst year at the same time. 2020, we had the most deposits ever in a year by, I won't say that number, but I was like, whoa,
30
that's
million.
crazy.
30 million.
Oh, keep speaking into existence, my brother. Speak it. You know what I mean? Don't stop at 30, go to 40 million. But hey, look, I ain't gonna stop you from speaking that into existence. Yeah. I take it, brother. And when it happens, I'm gonna break you off with 10 million. I'm gonna break you off.
Hey, 60 million in.
Hey, 30 to 30. You know what I'm saying? That's what we gonna do. You just put that in the middle, speak that into existence. But the downfall of it was that the puppies weren't producing as expected. The litters that I expected to have. So it became a little frustration for some that was like, man, I was expecting to have this. And, and some people were like, man, thank God, because I lost my job anyway, or lost this or whatever. Everybody was going through the pandemic in their own way. So for me, it was a good and a bad, you know what I mean? Again, I didn't want to alarm and be like, oh, this, that, and the bad, but the pandemic has hurt in a way because I love seeing my clients come, and you see my videos, man, everybody coming at one time, they're seeing the yard, they're seeing the dogs, and they're having great times. All the dogs jumping up to now I'm like, yeah, man, they like, yeah, okay, whatever. So the interaction, that connection feel you have when people come, that's got a little separated to where now, man, my family is more important than any dog still ever. So it hinders some people. Like, I want to come see the dog right now. No, you can't. You know what I mean? I have so much going on, and every time you step outside, you have to worry about catching this and bringing it back to your family, or this and that and third, or whatever. Some people don't think it's real. I've had people come and tell me, hey, man, I'm coming to your house, man. It ain't real. I don't care what that says. I'm like, I don't care what you say. My house. But it's, we all surviving, man. I think all three of us on here right now, man, we all are, adjusting every day to it. You got the government implementing what they want to do. Texas is about to go to a no mask order no more now, opening up 100%. I'm just like, oh gosh,
crazy.
Yes, that's a whole nother subject there. But I'm like, yeah. But we're adjusting, man, day by day. You know what I mean? I'm still human like anybody else. I'm no different than the next man beside me. This new normal is not so normal. You know what I mean? So, but we are adjusting every day, adjusting fire as so.
And it's just crazy to think that it's only been a year. I mean, this probably has been the longest year ever. You know what I mean? It kind of been stressed out. I mean, I guess because you're dealing with it every single day. So it kind of, that 365, it seemed like an eternity, because we had to change so much, and almost to where you kind of forget how it was before the pandemic, before COVID, and how we used to move around and things of that sort.
Yeah. I mean, we'll never be the same, man. You know what I mean? We'll never be the same. I think a lot of us it's one of my favorite quotes is, you never know how strong you are until being strong is the only option you got left. You know what I mean? When you take that saying and you put it in and you really think about it, sometimes you just like, I'm tired, I can't go no more stairs, I can't go no more. The only option you got left is to go up there. You can't turn back. You got to just go. You're going to push and find everything within you to go more. And I think we're doing that right now with ourselves, but each one of our families right now. You know what I mean? We're all pushing forth, man. I mean, some of us I think it's a daily battle in every last one of our households right now. All three of us now, I think we've dealt with it, being stressed, not getting out, like you said, doing that kind of stuff. I'm an introvert. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really go out and do clubs and all that stuff anyway. But so it was like, whatever. You know what I mean? I got my land, the 4-wheelers, I do that. But it's still not being able to see the intimacy of friends and, family and stuff like this as well. And a lot of us has lost loved ones, or known someone. And to me, I was mad. I was mad. My birthday is March 24th. Last year, March 24th, it was the start of this whole pandemic. I couldn't do what I wanted to do. And I was like, man, that was my 35th birthday. I wanted to, 35, you know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah.
It was cake at home with the kids, which meant everything to me in the world, which is better than any gift could be given. So grateful for the small things, man. But yeah, we definitely living life, man. Definitely are a living example of all this. So, I mean, we all coming out stronger. Right? I think we all are being built. They're going to talk about this 40, 50,000 years, or 40,000, 40, 400 years from now, or whatever, and talk about this time and what we were doing during this time and how strong we all were to overcome this. You know what I mean? Some people have taken it so bad they can't even handle this right now. You know what I mean? But we're taking it every day, and man, we all are. I say we, everybody. You know what I mean? If you're here right now and you survived 2020,
Yeah,
we all deserve a gold medal right now, man, for coming through this right now. So
for sure, it definitely was a test of strength for sure, and just how the human race can just adjust to adversity. You know what I mean? And it's just, to me, it's good to have that strength, especially being the head of your house, and having so many different people depending on you, your animals depending on you, to just be strong and just get everybody through. And it just was a good test to kind of go through. I mean, because a lot of people broke, but like you said, if you're still here today, I mean, you blessed, and you should be grateful for getting through that. Um, talk a little bit about your first experience with whelping your first litter, your very first litter. How was that experience for you, and what did you learn, and what did you take from that? Do you still use those same tactics today, or how was it?
Man, the first letter didn't go anywhere as I consider myself a planner, which means like I like to think that I have this here, put this in order. There you go.
All right. Sorry about that. We were just getting into talking about how it was whelping your first litter.
Yeah, so I'm the person that always try to have everything planned out, just set it. But as you know, when you plan anything with animals or anything else, they're gonna do their own way. You gotta adjust to what it is. My first litter, man, I was expecting it to be. I read a lot of books, did a lot of research. Man, I was like, a puppy's gonna come. It's gonna be so easy. Now, the biggest thing about whelping is the fact that we had a lot of cats. Not a lot of cats, but we had kittens, and I've seen, cats give birth. And surprisingly, a lot of people used to be like, man, your cat actually brought the kittens to you to see, honestly, put it on my life. And it was, so I've dealt with little kittens and stuff as a kid, but my first dog breeding, man, I was excited, but boy, when that puppy started coming, I started freaking out. Like, oh, I gotta do this shit. I ain't got this. That first time father just, oh my God. It ain't Butler Kennel. You see them YouTube videos now talking about okay, this is how you do this. Don't be patient. Just last night, I got a call from one of the guys that did a breeding with my dogs, his first litter, called me last night, 12 o'clock at night. They always want to have puppies at the latest hours, man.
Yeah.
It's like, you got all this time in the daytime and you don't want puppies, and now you can have puppies at 2 o'clock in the morning. And looking at me, kissing on me like, hey, what's up, Pops? Like, nah, get off me, man. Like I said, if you watch some of my videos, man, look, I told you, I don't hold it back, man. When I be having them videos, it'd be one take. I don't do any editing, cutting on my videos. Man, that dog was looking at me at 3 o'clock in the morning, looking at me, get off me, man. Tired. Just stayed up the night before the other one, and I'm staying up with your butt, looking at me like, yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, exactly. Come take care of your kids. This ain't my kids, y'all. But I was nervous, man. I was scared. You know, but you can do something so many times, but when it's yours, it's like you want it to be perfect. That's the reason why I think I wanted to be so perfect, and I was so scared. But she was so chill, man. She was like, "Yo, calm down. I got this." You know what I mean? She cleaned it, and I was just like, "Gotta rub it in. I gotta do this here. I gotta shake it more because they get the little snuzzle things." And I'm like, "I gotta get this. Okay, cut this off and gotta sterilize this." And I'm like, man, you know, when you get your first kid, everything's spaced out. Your third kid, you're like, man, whatever. You know what, man? Yeah. You know, it's like whatever. But you know, because you overthink so many things. But that first little was a lot going on, but it was so beautiful, man, and so self-honoring. I would say is that I was like, whoa, man, you're doing it. You know what I mean? You're doing it. You're actually doing it right now. And yeah, she made it easy. I would say that she made it easy for me because you know sometimes that first litter can make or break you. You know.
Oh yeah.
And, yeah, I may not have been Butler Kennels right now. If it was crazy. Like, that's too much work. But it was a lot of work. And I remember, I think I lost more money than I made. I know I lost more. I was like, oh man, my very first litter. Nobody, I don't think about it. I've never said it publicly, but my first litter I sold $500. You couldn't tell me nothing. Oh, then I remember adding all up the money I spent on this and that. I was like, man, I lost money, man. What did I Oh man, I had my little $20 bill, put in the thing. I was like, hold up, I gotta break this glass with this $20 back. I did it on something else, you know what I mean? But it was so crazy. I think that might have been a good lesson because it was so much love, man. That experience I got wasn't about the money. Overall, it wasn't about the money, but at the time I was like, man, it was just like,
yeah,
I did it. And people want my dog, man. And then people was like, hey, we still want to get one. I was like, I ain't got no puppies. Yeah, but just we still want one from you. And I'm like, okay, well, put one down and then give me going up $600. That's it. And I remember that lady told me, like, that's all you sell your dogs for? There's someone down there selling dogs that look nothing like yours. They want $1,200. I was like, $1,200?
Yeah. You're like, wait a minute.
And I remember one guy called me, and I remember I was like, no, I'm not fucking my price up still, man. And I was like, no, but I can't do this. Everybody was like, bro, you losing. I was like, man, yeah, I did lose the first litter. And the second litter, I remember I lost again. And I was like, okay, this is not a charity. I got to do something to make at least break even, something.
Right.
And I was like, I'm putting in the best quality I can. But you know, if I were to tell you right now, man, I'll be today. Somebody told me, Tony, you be where you at today. I'll be like, whatever. That ain't true. You know what I mean? It's humbling. It's very, very, I have a square of friends. My square of friends is 4 points. I'm not gonna say their names right now, but one of them is a breeder as well too. But I keep a square. You know, some people have a circle of friends. It's all around. They roll wherever the way the table rolls. It rolls. My square of friends are rooted, man, flat. You know, they don't just go anywhere. You know, and they've kept me. I've always said I don't want friends around me to be like, yeah, man, yes, sir, man, friends. You know what I mean? Like, let me know the real truth. And it's humbling that, you know, so my friends are telling me, I knew you were before you was Butler Kennels. Don't get twisted now. You know who you were. Like, I still remember my little peasy head little boy breeding them dogs and stuff. You know what I mean? And it's so crazy that I was sent a picture just yesterday, so it should be right here. Let's see. there was a picture that was just sent to me. Let me see. Of me with with one of my little puppies as I had coming up or whatever. So maybe not, but I had it. I just saw it, unless I didn't save it. No, he sent it to me. He just sent it to me or something that's there. But I'm gonna look for it. But when I find, I'll show it to you. But nah, it's really good to see and have those experiences of you know, and friends around you that really just, you know, keep you grounded, man, and really be humble to where you are, and to see the growth of the community around you, not just yourself elevating, like we said in the beginning, of seeing those people around you elevate and come to where we are today. That's the greatest feeling, man. I'm telling you, like, it's, there we go. You see, when I was little, that's a little younger version of me. Let me see.
Oh.
What? That dog don't look like one of the dogs we got now. My baby, though. That's my baby. So, but you know, and seeing that, even still, you know, a lot of people are embarrassed about what they started at. You know what I mean? I've shown people how I first started, my first kennel. A lot of breeders called me and said, "Hey, man, I'm surprised you did that, man. It really means a lot," because I was afraid to show my past. You know, I want people to think that I'm just this big top kennel, I've always been on the top, and I'm like, dude, for what? You gotta be relatable with people. You know what I mean? You gotta be able to be. You gotta be true. You know what I mean? Right. Could it hurt me? Yeah, it could have hurt me. Oh, he no different than nobody else. I don't want to be different than anybody. I don't want to be seen as some god of dogs or whatever. I want to be seen as a person that gives inspiration and hope to the next little boy out there that's looking up to me and saying, "Hey, man, I see what he's doing, and I want to do that." You know what I mean? Somebody looking at Space City Rottweiler now that you'll never probably ever speak to a day in your life, but watches all your moves and watches you and want to be great and see what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, this guy started a podcast. He breeds his own dogs. He got his businesses. His adventure is doing things. That's what I want to leave for the next guy behind me that sees that and says, "Hey, man, that's all right right there." There's people that influence me I've never spoken to, you know, that I look at and that helps mold me to where I am now, to leave another platform for the next generation behind me. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a humbling experience. It's definitely a great thing, but to really just go on and go to the next step, you know what I mean, for what we're doing right now.
What do you remember what that that switch was for you from wanting to be a vet and then going into breeding?
Oh yeah, definitely.
What was that for you?
That was a switch. Switch ain't gonna be what you think it is. It ain't gonna be this textbook answer you want. You know what I'm saying? Number one is, at first I hated school. I was like, I'm done with school, happy. But then I finally went back to college and did these things or whatever. It wasn't about, because at first I was like, oh, I'm not doing the schooling thing. Then I finally settled down at this school, which I got all my degrees on there. Some people always, and I've heard this before, oh, he do dogs because he dead. No, I have associates, I have the bachelor's, and so on. And you know what I mean? So it's not about that. It was definitely the moment I realized, like we talked about in the beginning, having a love for something don't mean you got to go and do that specific, you know, direct thing. The bird was something that really made me realize that it was more than just the dog stuff at one time. Then the dog became a thing, and the connection I had with dogs itself. I had cats, you know what I mean? Cats were cool. Cats were just rub, and couldn't get that level of feeling talking to a cat and you did with a dog, you know what I mean? Heck, even stray dogs seemed closer to me than the cat that was in our yard, you know what I mean? So it wasn't about, and I didn't want to deal with I used to volunteer at vets and all that kind of stuff or whatever. And they made sure they used me too. hey, it's free labor. Get him to do this, get that, get this. And I'm grateful for it because it taught me that I didn't need to do surgery on dogs. I didn't want to deal with the deaths and all this stuff on a constant basis. And I applaud the vets out there that does this stuff because it's not built for everybody. Everybody's not built to be in a trauma surgeon. People want to be doctors but don't want to do trauma. Some people just want to deal with kids, and you got to understand your lane that makes you comfortable. I think a part of me was, going back to that veterinarian days, you know what I mean? It's the platform as a kid. I didn't know specifically about breeding, that kind of stuff as a kid, the animals veterinarian, that was my field, was veterinarian, you know what I mean? That was the field, not the particular job. So I held on to that childhood dream of saying, I want to be a veterinarian. But as I got older, I realized it started pinpointing to one thing in general, you know what I mean? The love of the dog I had, dogs. I love all the animals, and man, I go to the zoo and I still have the zoo is like my mall. I go to tigers and lions, and man, I love them all. But the dogs is something that I'm like Tarzan in the jungle with the dogs. And I feel like this is my home. You know what I mean? I'm swinging from branch, or kennel to kennel. You know what I mean? That's my love. So at some point, you realize that the base of it was dealing with animals, but as I got a little bit older, understanding that my field was dogs. I want to be around dogs. My childhood dream was to have a yard full of Rottweilers. That was my dream. We were given certain dogs, and I was like dog, a Labrador mixed with this one. A chow. Now I did have a chow. God, I named her Cupcake. My dad made me. I couldn't keep her. Man, I wanted Cupcake. So I might would have been a chow breeder right now. I don't know. But that dog. And that's one of the dogs that my grandmother had, was a child named Rocky. Man, dang, it's so easy to remember Rocky. But Rott's has always been my love, passion to breed dogs. I remember the first time I saw a Rottweiler, that's different. Pit bulls and these dogs got different things that makes them unique, and chows, they're very beautiful. But when your heart just drops when you see a certain thing, you're like, hey, that's it.
There's something about them Rotties, bro. There's something about them, because it the same thing with me. And I'm gonna give an exclusive right quick, because I feel like it was destined, man, because my dad had this female Rottweiler named Justice, and we used to play all the time, and we was playing on the floor, man, and Justice decided that she wanted to pee on me, man. So I think she kind of marked to be a Rottweiler lover, because that was my first experience with a Rottweiler, and it's been Rotties ever since. So I think her peeing on me kind of just marked me to be Space City Rottweilers.
Man, she marked you, man. She was like, and that's awesome, dude. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man. But Tony, man, we definitely appreciate you, not only for coming through on the show, but just for everything that you do in the Rottweiler community, or just in the community, period. Just giving people like myself the motivation to do something like this podcast, and to just push the envelope forward, man, and just have something that I can call my own, man. And again, thank you for your service. Thank you for being a genuine person. Thank you for being humble. We definitely gonna have to do this again, because I wanna deep dive into some other things. Got to talk to you about the Mo Falcons that you love so much, and get into some more stuff. But man, again, thank you for coming by. Yeah, man, appreciate it. If y'all not familiar, y'all go check him out on YouTube at Butler Kennels. You on Facebook at Butler Kennels, Instagram Butler Kennels. He just dropped his merch line, which I'm gonna have to get my hand on some of that.
I already got it already, man. I'm already sending you one, so you already got one coming to you. So
I appreciate it, man.
All you gotta do is tell me the color and your size. You and Jay. You know what I'm saying? Both of y'all gonna get one sent to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you wear with pride and love, man. And definitely, it's really, 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 really means a lot, and it really does man, I can't really put in words to really let you guys know how much it really does mean that this isn't that, this clothing line, my everything, the business and everything else wouldn't be done without the support of you guys. You know what I mean? And that's just being realistic. It's not me, myself, and I. You know what I mean? Me, myself, and I could just be right here by myself, nothing else. That's it. But the support from you guys, man, even just having me on this show right now, man, means a lot. You know what I mean? You know, from what you're doing and what we're doing collectively together really means everything. So with that, man, I have to really salute you guys for all the support and getting us to where we are today. And this is only part one of many more we're gonna have, man. Hopefully, I'll become a regular on the show for you guys, man, and likewise for us. And then that way you can turn around and be on the black couch over here with me. So you and Jacob will be on there. So
Absolutely. Thank you, Tony, so much. You dropped a lot of knowledge. I'm really learning a lot with everything. So thank you so much. Thank you for your time, for your service, everything. You doing it out here.
We all doing it together.
Indeed. And appreciate y'all for checking in and listening, man. Y'all, if y'all listening to us on the podcast now, y'all go ahead and subscribe. And if you watching this on YouTube, hit that like, that share, and that subscribe button. And we're gonna continue to push the envelope and, you know, get Tony back on here and you know, get some more interesting stories going on here, y'all. But definitely appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
All right.
All right, y'all. Peace.
All right. Bye-bye.
We good?
We still on.
Should we still recording?
We stop?
No, it's still recording.